Greetings and welcome to another episode of Better Communications Results, the vidcast. Okay, what am I going to wax lyrical about today? Well, I go back to an old chestnut that I've spoken about a number of times, and that is whether employees should have access to social media sites and tools, or whether in fact they should be banned from such things because of the risk. Now, we've seen, of course, the risk of doing something foolish, shall we say, and that was the Israeli Defense Force soldier who, up on his Facebook status, gave away information, not directly saying, we are going to, at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, bomb the crap out of this particular place, but words to that effect. It wasn't hard to make it up, not hard to figure out what he was talking about if you were a member of an opposing political or military force. So you think, okay, well, there are clear risks why I wouldn't want to be involved with letting my troops, employers, franchisees, whatever you like, social mediaize. But then, if the risks are that great, why has the American military allowed their troops, opened up the gates? Why has they've opened up the gates, they've allowed their troops to go in and blog and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and do all that sort of stuff? Why would they do that? Well, the reason that they do it is because they think the pros outweigh the cons. Yes, there are cons. Yes, there are very serious risks. But as long as the process by which the employees, the soldiers, the military personnel, as long as the process by which they can go out and talk about the things that they get involved with, as long as that's fairly clearly structured and guidelines are fairly clear for them on what you can and what you can't talk about, then it seems to me there's no reason why you can't let as many evangelists for your particular military force as you can possibly get hold of be out there social mediaizing on your behalf. Now, bring it back to a corporate perspective, and it's exactly the same. Why would you limit, as I've said many a time to clients and to various stakeholder groups, why on earth would you limit the number of evangelists in your organisation to just the corporate spokesperson? One, and the CEO, and usually the CFO as well. Why would you do that when the real interactions within an organisation, the day-to-day interactions, happen at a much lower level within the organisation? The big forward-thinking strategic stuff, sure, that happens at the top, but the day-to-day multiple contacts that happen at a much lower level. Why would you not let the people who are down at that level, having the day-to-day interactions, interact with their particular stakeholders, for want of a better word? I was about to say consumers, but they may not be consumers. They could be a particular market, but then that's putting it into marketing speak. And the social media, social networking landscape is not about marketing. And I personally get very annoyed when you get digital marketers coming in and trying to social mediaize. It's just they get upset when I get upset. The reason I get upset is because they come from it from a marketing perspective. In other words, they're trying to flog you stuff, right? They're coming from a sales and marketing, because in Australia certainly the boundaries between sales and marketing are very blurred, if not completely. There's no delineation. It should be coming from an all-stakeholder group working party, so that everyone is involved and everyone's got the opportunity to have input. But at the very least, it should be coming from the PR end of the communication spectrum, simply because PR people are trained to be able to talk to and relate to, have conversations with, may I be so bold as to suggest, have conversations with the public, publics, plural. Anyway, so that was a little rant that went off to the side. But my point is this: if you've got all employees who, I'm guessing that if you've got 100 employees, at least one of them is going to be happy to work there. At least one of them is going to want to be an evangelist for the company and want to be able to talk about how they enjoy their job, how they're pleased with the way that they go about things and the way that their manager supports them or something, or pleased with the latest product that the company's selling to customers. There's all sorts of good news stories that never get out there because they just can't be shoehorned into a press release. But if you give evangelists within the corporate walls, if you give them the tools to access the greater unwashed public, then you've got far greater chance of your evangelists interacting in a positive manner with the people who actually are of concern to the company, the people who pay the bills. So that's my thought. Should you let employees have access to these social media tools? Absolutely you should, but you give them guidelines. You make sure that they are very clear and you are very clear exactly where the lines are to be drawn, so that they know that they're protected and they're not going to get a kick in the head when they blog or tweet something that no one ever told them they shouldn't blog or tweet. There's nothing worse for demoralizing an employment force than getting told off for doing something that they didn't know they were going to get told off for, doing something that they didn't know was going to cause a problem. Okay, that little rant over. I shall return you to whatever good thing that you were doing before you happened to tune into me on one of my ranty days. And I shall remain, as always, your humble correspondent who drives back and forth here, there and everywhere. And remember, when you're communicating next, take some communication risks, because you never know what's going to pay off, especially in this topsy-turvy, upside-down world called social networking. And always remember, communicate with passion. Ta-ra!